Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John's Reporters for the 1st of December. Well, it was an interesting move the other day. I mean, it started out hyper-exuberant, then there were some concerns about whether the tax reform would be complete and finished as it was, faded back a little bit. Could even be a little bit of an exhaustion press to a certain degree. It almost had that effect. When we look at the 5K chart, we'll see it a little bit clearer. Steel. Short-term buyers fading pretty quick on this right below, and kind of reaching an exhaustive phase. The orange still reasonable pace, so for now, you're still following the rising shakeout. Clearly, we've already talked about this was started out as an overbought condition and hasn't changed that from a positive extreme standpoint. That was the beginning of the algos starting on the soft move right here, which was an interesting place for it to begin, right around that 26 number, and then just boom, exploded. So we get to the 2650 a little faster than expected. I think that it's going to have to come back a little bit more to even things out a bit. You can see the divergence between the NASDAQ, so those discrepancies usually have to get worked out, and so I would think the S&P's got to come back. Still, Euro, big move up there, continuing to rise. That is only going to put added value into the S&P. I mean, that's all there is to say about it. It's a strange move given the fact that U.S. is doing so well, but that's okay. Just follow what is. TLT, again, you know, still higher than it should be, but should start to get a little bit more of a severe drawdown. It's oversold already into this decline setup right there, and we're still getting a fade here. I would like to see it dip below this 124 range, but has not done so as of yet. Doesn't change that it's still in a weak configuration. Oil, obviously matching highs, a little bit lower shakeout has been weak, but complete reset of short-term buyers here in the DOC steel. So I think that even though you're in this short configuration, there is the potential that they can turn around pretty quick. I mean, you're still above the ABMs. I think that becomes the easy one. Once you get below the green ABM, obviously it's much more clear short. But above, you don't see any issue being long on that one. And gold continuing to suffer. I mean, it just went straight up here towards short configuration, and could never really take out this peak, and this is what we talked about. You're not going to see a breakout until it gets past here. We talked about the influence of some of the cryptocurrency. Of course, they had a rough day as well, to quite an extreme. So here's the 5K. We're going to shrink this baby down to capture how that all started back here from the buy signal. It was seemed pretty innocuous. I mean, it was just a simple little, you know, normal transition conversion. If we scroll over to the day before even, we can kind of see that we had this just flat consolidation. Start the little buy, and then it just boom, continued, and then just based for a little bit and started another move. Even during the basing, we still ended up with seeing the 6-7 buy setup combination, and then again before the last breakout, and then we reached a massive exhaustion point. And any one of these DOCs, as we broke below the yellow ABM, I think whenever I see an exhaustion move like this, I'm usually expecting some type of retrace. May not always be to the 50%, but certainly takes an opportunity to, once you break the ABM, to be out and wait for a return back to it or a possible reset. And when those resets take place, becomes worthwhile at that point. So if we slide out, we get to see then this selling was a bit more exacerbated than not, and took us below the 50%. And then once we got back to the 50%, couldn't do anything beyond that. Again, with the pop-up of the orange, of the 13.5, right at the same time you're reaching the 50%, and that just led right back to the lows. And that's exactly where we're at now. Even after the small little pop-up, it's not even making it to 50%. So I think we're going to make new lows here and probably backfill more of this move, because I think it just got a little bit too exuberant, and that happens, and that's okay. So it gave both great opportunities for long and also for short, which I love it. We talked about the change in volatility was coming, and here it is. And that's good, because these broader ranges are certainly going to shake out a lot more people and generate a little bit more excitement, which is always a good thing. So there you have it. Indicators have gone out for the month, so everyone should be set and ready to rock. As always, though, trade well. We'll post things on the Skype chat. I have a special event for Grace's school, so I will be out a little bit towards the afternoon portion of market time to the evening, and sitting for a portrait, so I'll miss the very beginning of the open, but be back somewhere in between the middle of there, and I'll get some chart stuff up as we continue to see new lows being made here. It's already off 13, so it's pretty decent. Retrace back into the big move. Trade well. Talk to you later.